All right, thank you for checking out this video. I quickly put together a lower back workout where we're going to emphasize a little cardio and some core as well in between our lower back workouts. So we're going to start with core. Ideally, we're going to want to shoot for 500 to 1,000 meters if you can, and try to break that up in between each exercise superset here. So I will go ahead and name the workouts and how many sets and reps I was doing of each. I also wanted to include regressions. That's something I want to start doing because I know that sometimes it might not be easy for everyone to just go out there and do a deadlift. And I want to show that there are alternatives to still get the same result without having to have a freestanding bar. So keep a lookout for those regressions. I will note them in the video. Nonetheless, I want to go ahead and get into my topic, which is still focusing on moral declension. James 1:8, where it states, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So this text comes from the testing of faith, where it's stated that the doubt is what causes this double-mindedness. Now, we're constantly in a double-minded environment, of course, because Galatians 5:17 says, for the desires of the flesh are against the spirit, and the desires of the spirit are against the flesh, for these are opposed to each other. So, again, it's that doubt that has us acting on that double-mindedness, because if we're not having faith in the spirit, then that's when we start acting double-minded, because that doubt starts to creep in and we give way to sin and everything else, which leads obviously to that moral declension that we're talking about. I also want to talk on Romans 7:18 through 24. Very interesting text. Not really too much to say about it that it doesn't already say, but you can just see, again, where this double-mindedness, it just lives within us. So I really don't like when people tell someone that they're being double-minded, and you see a lot of it. So Romans 7:18 starts off, for I know that nothing good dwells in me, that is, in my flesh. For I have the desire to do what is right, but not the ability to carry it out. For I do not do the good I want, but the evil I do not want is what I keep doing. Now if I do what I do not want, it is no longer I who do it, but sin that dwells in me. So I find it to be law that when I do right, evil lies close at hand. For I delight in the law of God in my inner being, but I see in my members another law waging war against the law of my mind and making me captive to the law of sin that dwells in my members. Wretched man that I am, who will deliver me from this body of death? Thanks be to God through Jesus Christ. And so with that, we see how there's the flesh. Of course, he says, nothing good dwells in me, that is, in my flesh. And then in 22, he states, for I delight in the law of God in my inner being, which is the spirit. The spirit is your inner being. The flesh is what dwells in you. We're double-minded. Galatians 5:17. They're contrary to each other. They're opposed to each other. We're double-minded by nature. And again, a lot of Christians probably wouldn't like this, but no matter what you believe in, there's two sides of you. There's the side that just wants to do what you want to do, and then there's the side that, kind of has some morals to some moral sense to yourself. Okay, so those two are constantly in confliction. They're constantly opposed to one each other. But once you doubt that good, that is when you're being double-minded. Double-minded doesn't mean, I wish people would just stop saying it like, oh, you're double-minded. Like, you're a double-minded individual. We're all double-minded individuals. I just really would stop People would really just like for people to stop saying that. Anyway, it's just you see them in a state of doubt. So I don't get why you would tell someone they're being double-minded, which is going to make them doubt even more. So that's just kind of what this is I want to talk about here. Just being double-mindedness. Again, it's more declension. We're constantly in this battle of, doing what's good, doing what's wrong, And then as Paul states, like, he ends up doing, what he doesn't want to do half the time, and it's just that doubt that we have to fight and we have to battle with. So I think we need to encourage one another, most importantly, because like Luke 5:31 says, it's not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. Constantly in a double-minded state. However, the moment we begin to doubt is when we actually feed into the negative side of that double-mindedness. So that's what we want to avoid. I applaud anyone for effort and trying. Again, no one is perfect. I know I'm not perfect. Don't care what anyone thinks about me or how they think I portray myself. I know I'm not perfect. I don't have to prove that to you. I'm telling you right now, I know I'm not perfect. But the way, I choose to carry out how I act, to focus on the good, is how I choose to do that. So I delight of the law of God in my inner being. And, you might see it in other members, and most other people are only looking for the negative. I mean, we live in a society where good is expected, and the only time they have something to say is when you do something bad. Oh, now you're double-minded. No, I'm sorry. I've been double-minded. I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to focus. But again, don't doubt, because you are giving effort and you are trying. So I hope this encourages everyone and you enjoyed this video. Thank you for checking it out.